Have you ever wondered what you would do if you were stranded on a deserted island? No food, no water, and no hope for rescue? This is the story of Hamza, who found himself trapped on an isolated island after a tragic accident. Between fear, hunger, loneliness, and hope, he fought for survival. Did he make it out alive? Or was he lost forever? Life is not always easy. Sometimes we face challenges that seem impossible to overcome. But do we give up or do we fight? Hamza had two choices: surrender or fight for his life. Which path did he choose? Let's dive into this incredible story. Hamza was traveling on a ship when suddenly dark storm clouds filled the sky. The wind picked up speed and the waves grew larger. He sat still, but an eerie fear crept into his heart. The rain intensified and the storm became more violent. Passengers screamed, some wore life jackets, while others prayed. Panic was everywhere. A monstrous wave struck, tearing the ship apart. Passengers were thrown into the raging sea. Hamza, too, was flung into the water with a powerful jolt. The merciless waves carried him to an island. Hours later, he woke up lying on the sand, his body bruised, his mind dazed. As he scanned his surroundings, he realized he was on an uninhabited island. No people, no help, just wilderness, the ocean, and silence. The sun blazed overhead, and his throat was dry. He needed water immediately, but the salty seawater would only make him thirstier. After wandering, he spotted a coconut tree. His heart filled with hope, but the coconuts were too high. He struggled to climb the tree. After much effort, he managed to break open a coconut. He quickly drank the sweet water and ate the flesh, his first food in a long time. Coconuts wouldn't last forever. He needed more food. He explored the jungle and found some wild fruits and herbs. Fruits weren't enough. He needed meat. He found a strong piece of wood and sharpened it into a spear for hunting. Hamza tried to hunt fish with his spear. He stood still by the shore, watching small fish swim nearby. Despite repeated attempts, he kept missing. But he couldn't give up. After hours of persistence, he finally caught a small fish, his first big survival achievement. He had caught a fish, but how would he cook it? There was no stove, no matchstick. He rubbed sticks together, hoping for a spark, but nothing happened. He was losing hope, but he knew he couldn't survive without fire. Hamza tried a new method. He struck stones against each other, and after repeated efforts, a spark finally appeared. He quickly gathered dry grass, and after several attempts, a small flame flickered to life. Now, he could cook his first meal. Nights were getting colder, and sleeping in the open was dangerous. Wild animals could attack at any moment. He started building a shelter using branches and leaves. Darkness fell, and strange noises echoed through the jungle. Something moved between the trees. Holding his spear tightly, he stayed awake all night. The next morning, he woke up feeling weak. His stomach ached and his head spun. Perhaps he had eaten something bad or drank contaminated water. Hamza knew that some plants had healing properties. He sniffed and tasted different leaves and finally found one that might help. He boiled it in water and drank it. A few hours later, he started feeling better. Now that he was stronger, he decided to explore the entire island. He climbed a hill to check if there were any villages or boats nearby. But all he saw was endless ocean and thick jungle. If he stayed here too long, he might die. He had to signal for help. He gathered large rocks and spelled help on the shore, hoping that a passing ship would see it. Just writing help wasn't enough. He needed smoke to attract attention. He added damp wood to the fire to create more smoke, hoping that someone would notice. Days passed and hope was fading. Then, one day, he saw a ship in the distance. His eyes filled with excitement. Would they see him? Hamza quickly added more wood to the fire, sending thick smoke into the sky. Moments later, the ship slowed down. His heart raced with hope. A rescue team arrived in a small boat. They saw Hamza's condition and immediately offered him water and food. Tears filled his eyes. He had survived. After several days of travel, he finally returned home. When he knocked on the door, his family broke down in tears. They thought he was dead, but he was alive. Hamza learned a valuable lesson. If you have courage, no difficulty in the world can defeat you. Never give up, because if you keep trying, one day success will come your way. This story teaches us that even when life feels hopeless, giving up is not the answer. What did you learn from this story? Let us know in the comments. If you love inspiring survival stories, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next amazing story. Until then, stay strong and never give up.